Yo, my people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for Best of the Rest show on a Tuesday, 5 p.m. You know the score, people, man. We're here with the man them to talk all things football. You know what I mean? Kind of review the last weekend's game. Also talk about any transfer news. I got man like Premsy in the, I think that's the 2007-8 in it, kit in it. The away
Yeah,
kit.
yeah, yeah. Fucking hell, you low-key
Come on.
Arsenal fan, you or what, fam?
No, I'm just a football fan, innit? I remember them days, man. Them days you get beaten by, I don't know, man, Blackburn away and that. You know, them ones there,
Nah,
man.
nah,
I was
nah, don't
there, man.
about
The Wenger days.
that. Well, times have turned now, haven't they, fam? You get me? Use man are looking dead. Use man are looking dead.
Yeah,
But now, big
listen.
up the chat, big up the panel, man. It's good to be back. And we'll get cracking, boys.
Come on, man. Man like Carefree Lewis making more songs about Mason Mount and getting points at Chelsea. What are you saying, man, Lewis?
Hey, we had a little learning curve over the weekend, but it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Big up everybody that's locked inside. I see as well you guys did very well in London over the weekend. I'm sure we'll get into that as well. But big up everybody. Big up.
Big up, big up. Nah, love, man. Love for having you on as well. We got man like Monts. You get me 3-point collectors. What you saying, man, Monts? You blessed?
You're on mute,
You're
fam.
on mute. You're on mute.
You're on me. You're on me. Like transfer window.
So it's good to be back. Obviously, what has it been 2 weeks? I've missed 2 weeks in a row, I think. So
Yeah. You're acting now, innit? You're living life, man.
Hey, listen, hey, I'm not doing anything. I'm just here. And I'm existing. But of course, 3-point collectors. Obviously, big up Premier on your 3 points. You know, I hope you enjoyed those 3 points. Every 3 points in the Prem is hard to come by these days. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. It ain't easy, as you would say, Saeed. So yeah, man, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to talk about in terms of Chelsea. Trust me. And yeah, it's good to be back, man. It's good to be back. Big up.
Yeah, man. No, definitely, man. Where do we start, man? Should we start with Chelsea, United? What's the feeling, man? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's one of them where, I've talked a lot about United, but Chelsea is always good news. It sells well. They got a lot of money, so valuable time, valuable club.
Start with the best.
So,
Start with the best. You can start with us. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
all right, then let's go.
Let's start with the 250 million.
We'll start with the best, and then we'll go to the rest as the show goes.
Oi, is that what we're doing? Yeah, okay. I like that. I like that.
This what's
What you
happened,
saying,
man.
Lewis?
Chelsea fans have gone deluded now, man. This is what the club's done to them. Fucking hell.
Mad.
Yeah,
Transfer
it's mad.
dopamine overdose. Yeah.
Can I start? Can I start with this one? Can I start? Because
Yeah, go on,
obviously,
go for it.
there's been a lot of back and forth between Liverpool and Chelsea because of the obvious transfer, things that have been going on in the window. Of course, we lost out to the two lads in centre mid. I need explanations for the most expensive and the worst cameo / debut in Premier League history in Moises Caicedo. That's what I want to know. I just think only Chelsea could spend that much on someone and they look that bad straight away. Now, granted, it's only one game. Granted. But guess what? The microscope is different. You see Declan Rice. You see if he makes a mistake, it's going to be trending. Or if he does anything, if he did what Moises Caicedo did, I'm telling you, it's going to be the talk of the town. So now, you see Caicedo's mistakes and his poor passing and how bad he looked. I'm not going to lie to you, Lewis. I'll be real. I'm burning because I'm a Liverpool fan and I wanted Caicedo, but now I'm enemy of progress in it. I'm enemy of progress.
I understand that's a rival. I get.
I need to understand why you had a £220 million pivot and you still managed to lose out to James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Soucek, and with 10 men.
Because he shouldn't have played. He's had no match sharpness. As simple as that.
No. But he doesn't get. No. There's no excuses. Once you cost 100.
So fitness doesn't matter when you've cost 150 million.
No, he should be doing his own training.
We're going to dismiss that. It doesn't matter if you've had 1.5 pre-season games. Get on the pitch now, and you better run your lungs off.
Listen, when it comes to those Benjamins, there is no excuses. There's no excuses. Unfortunately, of course, I know he needs to get fit, but 150 million.
Then there's your answer. You just answered your question.
Every touch,
every pass.
Hold on. Every touch, every pass, every clearance, every tackle under the microscope. That's what happens.
As a rival, I get it. I would do the same thing. I get it. But he's had no sharpness. That's the reason why he came on. He was poor. He shouldn't have even been brought off the bench, in my opinion. He should have left him, regardless of the scoreline.
So we have to blame Poch now.
Yeah, but this game, I think the way he managed the game as it progressed was the turning point for us. Like, first off, we were brilliant. The Kone for Mudryk substitution wasn't ideal. It killed our balance. And that's part of the reason why we fell off. Caicedo was a panic move with us being 2-1 down. Wrong move is what it is. But I'm not judging Caicedo off it, and I'm definitely not Poch out because of it. It's just he messed up.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. I'm just saying, we got a whole man accountable.
Right, but judging someone with no sharpness for 15 minutes of football and saying he's the reason why we lost isn't mad.
Well, he is the reason.
What do I know?
Well, he is the reason why ultimately you couldn't get any points on the game because he came on the
He's not the reason why. He came on and we were already in a losing situation.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
but how does that make sense?
Because he made it worse. He made it worse. He didn't make
it was already worse. We were losing.
Okay.
It couldn't get any worse.
Listen, only you guys can bring on 200 million off the bench and then go and concede to 10 men West Ham. That's
easy to say that without context. It's easy to say that without context, but I'm here to apply that context.
Come on, bro. Go on, Carefree, Lewis. What are you saying?
Just saying he had no sharpness. It was the wrong move. He shouldn't have come on. Doesn't mean he's a crap player or Chelsea have ruined him or anything. It's 10-15 minutes of football. You're saying we brought him on and we lost, so you're hinting at it.
These Liverpool man are here, aren't they? You get me?
He's a phenomenal player.
Over the last 15 days, and now they're just trying to get their get back. I get it.
No. I've got my get back.
Opportunities, so you might as well.
No. I've got my get back, Lewis. I got my get back because you're sitting there on 1 point. So I got my leg back. That hit like.
Oh, there's not 36
games hit like a slim shot.
You man are grasping at straws, bro. You man are grasping at straws. It's two games.
Things never changed, man. 300 million pound later, man are still 50.
Like United lost their first 2 games last season and they still got third. Why should I be concerned when we already did better than that?
Because you're not better than United.
You know what though? What is up with Chelsea at the minute though? What's the situation with? Is it midfield? Is it the defense? Because I look at the defense and I'm like, yo, you man spent a lot of money and you didn't sort out that defense. I'm like, yo, like that defense needs sorting out as well, man. Because that Decisive is looking a bit meaty. Like Thiago Silva, obviously he's 39. I'm not going to get onto him because he's obviously quite. He's gone.
I don't think he did
probably
not
past his best, but you know, yeah, man. Levi Colwill got bullied for one of the goals as well. Like, yo, man, defensive lines. You're looking for Badiashile to come back. What are you saying about your defense, bro?
Everyone just looked inexperienced, to be honest. Like, I think the tactical decisions during the game also played its part. But I just saw a bunch of players just get frustrated. There was individual mistakes all across the park. You've got Disasi and Colwill for the second goal. You've got Chilwell in the build-up to the first goal that led to the corner. Third one was, again, Caicedo, just a rough challenge. It was just individual mistakes left, right, and centre for us. But I don't feel any way like I did last season. Like, we already played levels better than we did at that point. We should have had the game won by half-time, to be honest. Like, we still came out of that not looking terrible. The second half was awful. Can't speak enough about that. Just bad decisions from Poch, and it leaked out onto the pitch, and the players lost confidence as a result of it. But it's one game. If we're going to panic after one game, then we never really had faith in the first place. Like, ideally, we have Luton at home on Friday. We make a statement. I don't even want to win. I want a statement performance on Friday. And then we still have a favourable run of games coming up until mid-October. There's no reason to stress right now. We haven't even started 2 of the midfielders that we brought in. Caicedo's come in, had no sharpness. What's his name? Lavia wasn't even in the squad. Once they're both starting, we should be a lot better. And I don't think we have these problems. So there's no reason to panic after one annoying defeat. That's all it is. It's annoying.
Where do the goals come from? Where will the goals come from? I don't see them coming from anywhere.
Oh, listen, that guy Jackson, brother, man.
He's sharp, man. He's to sharpen up. Sterling's looked a lot better. That was the best game for us in the Chelsea shirt. Mudryk's a sticky
let me
one.
get that
I need Mudryk to start. I need Mudryk to actually start games. I don't like
after that attempt, bro. You need him to stay at home, fam. That's what you need to do. I'm telling you now.
It wasn't a good attempt, and him being crap off the bench didn't help us either. But we're starting Ben Chilwell at left mid instead because Chilwell actually tracks back and Mudryk doesn't. But Chilwell isn't even good defensively, so I don't get it. Like, I'd rather just play
Yeah,
Mudryk there, give him some time to operate and to develop in the left wing position, because we haven't done that. We haven't given him a run of games since he's joined us.
Let me play this video.
Yeah, it's
dream
mad.
team, bro.
I don't even
Come
know
on,
what this
man.
guy is talking about.
Bro, if you played, you would have won the Premier League. Mudryk. Ah, wait, they lost to
This
us.
guy, bro.
You
Would have won the Premier League.
Mudryk, your time will come. You'll get it. You'll get it, inshallah, yeah? Best player,
That's
best
so
player in the world.
meaty.
Watch.
That's
See
Anthony,
this?
shut
The
up,
guy went
you
from
know.
The guy
cussing him
said
out
best
to
player in the
dick
world, you know.
The guy went from
Mad.
cussing him out to dick
These
riding in 15 seconds flat.
Yeah, that video
Have
is mad
some
meaty,
shame,
though.
bro. Have
That's
some
meaty,
shame.
bro.
Yeah, you know, it's everyone gets fanboyish, isn't it, when you're around players, isn't it? But yeah, but one of them goes, he could have won the Premier League. I don't know. Did Arsenal win the Premier League last year? Like, what do you mean? You were nowhere near. You bottled it at the end of the season. So
Yeah,
Arsenal
he's
fans
trying
need
to say
relax on
that
that one.
he's that good that he would have got us over the line. That's what he's trying to say, basically. I don't understand what he's been
Dunno,
watching.
man. Dunno,
Did you not
man.
hear him? He said
Listen,
best player in the world, man. Fucking hell, it's so mad.
Crazy.
That guy's some
No,
lost guy.
you know what is in Mudryk? And it's similar to Antony in the sense of they're too raw and they're too like they don't really have outstanding qualities apart from pace, innit? Like that's the only thing that they've got.
Raw is
Dribbling
another word.
wise,
He's shown
hey,
shown good dribbling and passing in phases, but we haven't
wait,
given
see
him a
that.
run of starts. We've barely given him a run. I think maybe 2-3 games in May, and that's about it. He's just been in and out of the team. Playing Ben Chilwell at left mid doesn't make sense. He's not good enough going forward to push a left winger out, a long-term left wing option for us into the bench. And defensively, he's not good enough either. So I don't get the point of that, but that's something I hope Poch rectifies.
But you must say, in these two games, Chilwell's been quite threatening for you. And you can see him getting into them positions. And you know what? I've always said in it, post-Roman bums, I think eras, like Ten Hag said, do come to an end. And I think this is a total different era from Abramovich. You're going to see this Chelsea probably get nowhere near the level they did under Abramovich. And that's just how I see it. But you must say, within these first two games, you have seen improvements under Pochettino. You've seen a better style of football. You've seen them creating opportunities. You get me? But I just think it's still too early for them. I think with Pochettino, they got to understand his style of play. He's got to get his proper team in. When there's so much churn in a team and so many players leaving and so many players coming in, it's hard to get that cohesion and that balance in the squad. And plus injuries, we touched on this before the season, and I said regarding Reece James, one thing we know about Reece James, he's going to get injured all the time, and he's a big miss for this Chelsea team. If Reece James is in that side, it ticks a lot better. Without Reece James in the team, they lose a lot of things going forward. Defensively, he's solid as well. He can also pitch in with a goal. I think with Chelsea, you just got to give,
as well.
Yeah, man, you just got to give them some time. Look, it's all good bantering them because I like bantering Chelsea in it. I've got no love for Chelsea whatsoever,
Same.
but I'm not really looking at Chelsea as a big threat. I think they could get a lot better than where he was last season, just purely down to Pochettino's experience in the Premier League and what he has done with Tottenham. But I think that many players turnaround is going to be difficult for any team, man. But yeah, man, I think they have definitely improved from last season.
And you, man, Fabrizio just come out now saying, you, man, appreciating this player here, Brennan Johnson, but didn't submit any bid, not negotiated to sign Brennan Johnson as of today.
Thank the Lord. Oh,
God.
Why do you not rate him? You don't rate him?
No, I don't get it. Like, I'd like some experienced players. If we brought him in, I'll back the scouts and everything, but I'm not moved by him. I'm not moved by the Balogun links either. Like, if we're gonna spend 50 million on Balogun, just do the Vlahovic-Lukaku swap deal, and at least we get Lukaku out of the way with that.
Just
Balogun, like, if he's not starting for Arsenal, why do I want him?
Nah, he's a good player, man.
He did well in League One last season. He did well, but like, not 50 million. Not 50 million level.
Nah, in this market, 50 million, man's cheap for him. This market.
It's not necessarily.
You are trying to get your money back for Havertz. I see it.
Listen. Certain players want. Look at the Mount and Havertz thing. Like, they're seen as main core players for United and Arsenal. Like, and they want.
Look how they're doing.
No. Hey, again, that's another conversation. But you see what I mean? Balogun for me is a good player. Whether he'll thrive at Chelsea, I think any attacking player that goes to Chelsea, by the way, they have to be like exceptional to be able to thrive in this current Chelsea setup, personally. But I just think with the whole Brennan Johnson thing, I mean the Oliso thing before we signed the contract, I think it's all kind of the same type of players you guys are going and getting. No one's really he's gonna go and get me 15 goals. he's guaranteed getting me 15 goals. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what you need right now.
To be fair, I think Nkunku could have done that for them, to be honest.
Yeah,
with
Nkunku, yeah.
I know
he could have done that for them. I think Sterling as well is becoming a problem for Chelsea, man.
Yep.
Like,
Sterling's always been a bad boy.
Game for us, yes, on Sunday.
Sterling's going to have a great season. He's always been a bad boy. It's just about, again, finding the right position and we're in the front three. I just think that attack for Chelsea is always going to be quite confusing in terms of who's going to play where. Apart from maybe Jackson, I think his place in the squad is solidified, but the left and the right, you just don't really know where the goals are coming from. And then going and getting someone, looking at someone like Elise or looking at someone like Brennan Johnson, it's just more of the same, if not a little bit worse. I know it's a project and I know you're kind of like going again from the start, but for me, I don't see, and the Balogun one as well, it's just very confusing. It's like pick and mix. It's like, I don't see the logic. I'm sure, Lewis, even as a Chelsea fan, you probably look at this and goes, where's the logic behind some of these links?
No, we're looking for another number 9. We're looking for another.
Why Ghost? Why Ghost? That's who they're going in for.
I got Nunes. You got Nunes. I got Nunes for you. What? You take Nunes?
Wow.
Wow. Is it like that, man? Is it like that?
Yeah. Is it like that?
Hey.
I'll take your number 11.
100 million, man.
That's a run.
That's mad. Nunes just like that. Say it later.
9. We're looking for another number 10. Goalkeeper's now been sorted, but there's going to be another 2 or 3 more players joining us.
Well, you got Lukaku, but he's training with the under 21s, man. You know what I mean? You've got some sort of striker down there, but I don't know what's going on with him. You know what? I don't feel sorry for him at all, man. He needs to play. He needs to hold that, man. Because at the end of the day, you come out and start saying, I want to go here, I want to go there. Then you end up playing with the under 21s. It's peak, man. Like, career.
Football, man. We literally had the Inter Milan deal wrapped up, and then he decides to go and talk to Juventus on the day of the UCL final. He's just such a problem. But apparently Roma might come in near to deadline day. Apparently Tottenham and West Ham also have interest. So he might have a bidding war. Maybe. Whoever wants them, please just take it. But I say we need to accept the first offer. But we've lost enough on Lukaku that as long as he's not within the first team, I don't care what happens to him. Like, it is what it is. We've already lost, regardless of what happens. It can't get any worse than it already has. Focus on the future. Focus on the future. Lukaku's just another remnant of the past that we need to get rid of.
Would you take Tony? Obviously, after the ban.
Yes. The whole plan for me was to wait until January and get another number 9. If Chelsea are planning on doing that, I can deal with Mason Burstow coming off the bench for 4 months. That's fine. Tony, I'll wait for. Because to me, again, I want top 4.
I think everyone's waiting for him.
League title.
Yeah, I think everyone's waiting for Ivan Toney. I think United today will link with him as well. I think Arsenal could do with Ivan Toney.
Yeah, well, he did come out saying that he's an Arsenal fan, ain't he? Really? So
did he?
No, he's a Liverpool fan. Fan.
Well, he said he likes watching us play. That's just good as enough. I'm telling you now. Yeah,
they'll take what they can get. They'll take what they can get, guys.
Didn't he cuss you on Twitter a couple years ago?
No, that's all banter. That's all that was. Banter.
Yeah, he was like, F Brentford or something like that, man. But Ivan Toney will be a proper player for any team, man. Like he's so underrated, man. But again, you don't know what sort of form he'll come back in. You know what I mean? Again, 8 months out. What sort of training is he doing? So he's got to pick up his form. But he's the sort of striker that I feel like would fit in regardless, man. He's just got that, you know what I mean? He's him, innit? Like, he believes in himself like that, bro. Now, that's why I think with Ivan Toney, he would do well in any team, man, because he's just that kind of, that confidence within himself, man. So I think it's what they need. But ultimately, with Chelsea, it's going to take time. Don't get me wrong. It's going to take time with Chelsea, yeah? But there's a lot to sort out for Pochettino, And, you know what I mean? That time waits for nobody, man. You know what I mean? Like, they must. Every single week, if Chelsea are performing, nobody's going to say, yeah, he needs time. They're going to be like, yo, you got a super team right there. And I know it's probably not the right way to go about it, but no one's going to really feel sorry for Chelsea, are they? Let's be real. Yeah. Let's be real.
We've got a good run of games as well. Like, we need to capitalize on it. I've been saying Luton, we must win, and we must win with conviction. I don't want no scrappy 1-0 or anything like that. We need to dominate. We need to have a convincing victory. We need to make a statement. So I'm waiting on that. That is a we must. That is a we must. But again, title, not listening to none of that. Not listening to none of that. But make the most out of the run of games that we have now. When we get to October, November, we've got Arsenal at home. We've got Tottenham away. I think City at home or away. Obviously, having one game a week will still suit us because they'll be playing in Europe and all of that. But now's the favourable run of fixtures. You have to make it count. You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should at least be getting
But just
9
staying here.
points minimum out of the next 4
Yeah,
games.
no more points
Yeah.
dropped. No more points dropped.
That's Chelsea next game.
Luton's a
Luton.
big game, man, for you. Big game, Luton.
Mhm. Luton at home, Forest at home, Bournemouth away. Then we have, I think, Fulham away.
Villa.
Yeah, Villa at home sometime in early October as well. That's
You
going to be
lost
the
last year, didn't you, to Villa? Remember last year, you lost
We
to
lost
Villa.
to everybody last year.
Do you know what
Yeah,
it is? Do you know what it is? It's your fixtures
You lost
after
to
that.
everyone.
Your October, have you not seen their October? It's Arsenal at home, Brentford at home, Tottenham away, City at home, Newcastle away, Brighton, then United, then Everton away.
Ooh,
Yeah.
tasty.
That's why they have to
Tasty.
make
We better be
a bit
sorted
of a
by then.
scheme.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why for me they've got to build form now. This is a time now
Yep.
where they've got to build some form. They've got to go.
Get me,
into
Lewis here.
and
That,
get-
yeah, he's
Don't
looking
scare me.
scared.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Looking
Because we better be
scared.
ready by then.
Yeah,
Nah.
We will be
So,
there.
yeah, you definitely will.
Wait.
Everyone will be there, man, because this is a super team right now. You know what I'm saying to you? So we will be there, man. So we'll see what happens with Chelsea. Big up to everybody who's in here. Over 800 of yous locked in, man. Everybody hit the like button, man. We need more likes in this building, man. Because like I said, it helps the algorithm, people. Right now, there's only 200 likes. What's going on, people, man? You lot are mocking it. Like
This
hit
is
the like
worth
button.
the
It's
mount
free to
chance
do so.
creation rates.
Come on.
Rise it up.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're going to get to Mount right now, but listen, Man United talk. Who wants to go first, man? Who wants to go in on Man United? Because I'm sick and tired of
I
talking
just
about
want to
United,
say,
man.
no refunds. That's all I really need to say.
No gives
refunds.
his backsies. No gives his.
No refunds, no backsies.
Listen,
No.
oi, it's peak out here, man. Tottenham. You know what it is? I don't know what it is about losing to Tottenham, yeah, but I never feel easy in it because back in the day, Fergie used to always say it's only Tottenham. So it's like one of them where you should be beating Tottenham, but yo, they second half they done us over, man. I can't lie, they done us over big
I can't
time, man.
believe Ten Hag didn't rotate. Same 11 as the Wolves
Yeah,
game.
that's
Didn't look
crazy.
cohesive at all.
That's criminal, man. It's criminal, man.
No.
You
It's the
can't do
first
that,
time he's
bro.
done it as well. I remember speaking to Flawless and he says every time he makes a mistake, he usually rectifies it the week after. He didn't this time.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's going to die
You know
on
what
this
it
mount,
is?
which isn't good.
You know why it is? Because this year he's got more of his players than he hasn't got his players, if you know, if that kind of makes sense. So last year he kind of done that because there was more players that weren't his players, but now he's brought in a couple that are his. You know what I'm saying to you? So he can't feel like he has to drop them. You know what I mean? When reality is that them man, they're not doing the bits, bro. Like if you feel like they're not doing bits, then take them off. Like what are you waiting for? And some managers die by their sword, you know, like Conte, Mourinho, and I thought Ten Hag would be different. And he's still got time, don't get me wrong. It's the second game of the season. Perspective is needed. But you know what it is, yeah? After 1 year, I would have expected to see a bit more from our style of play, a little bit more in terms of what we're trying to do. Like, not just kind of freestyling it in a sense of, you know what, we're going to do this until like the last 20 minutes and bring on Sancho and then boom, magically Man United appeared to be doing something different. Like, it don't work like that, man. It has to be from the off. So there's questions on Ten Hag, man. I don't know what you, man, think. Like, you know, Ten Hag.
Signing a striker that's injured is a big problem for you guys. That was one of your main problems last season, not having a striker. Him coming into the team and not be able to play is big because we all know Rashford likes coming in off the left and playing. You get me? I think he's quite isolated up front and you're not getting the best out of Rashford. I'm looking to take him out of my fantasy football team. This is what I'm talking about. It's just he's not effective enough. Mason Mount, I said this to you at the time, Saeed. I would have personally gone in for Maddison than Mount. You get me? I don't think he's great at all. If Chelsea are going to want to wash their hands of him, why are you going to go out there and get him? Yeah, he might give you legs, but it's the same thing with Havertz. Other than that, you're not really seeing anything else. So it looks like he's done the dash. He had Mount and he's cut out. You get me? It's a mad thing. But look, I just be honest. I think the whole thing around Manchester United, we've got to wait. Like I said with Chelsea, there's no point overreacting so early. It's 2 games in. We've seen them get toasted last season twice and then they come back and manage to get themselves in a good position. Ten Hag is one of them situations now where there's a lot of pressure on him because last season, first season in, no pressure. They were all on the hype of Ten Hag because they wanted him for so long. He managed to win them a trophy. And now they're expecting something different. They're expecting a title charge or they're expecting an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup to go far in the Champions League. Can he handle the pressure? We're going to have to wait and see on that one. But the transfer business United have made it doesn't look good at all. And even the style of football that they're playing at the moment, with having Fernandes and Mount being a bit more of the progressive attacking midfielders and leaving Casemiro on his own, he's getting ran ragged. You get me? He can't be everywhere at once. Martinez as well hasn't started the season good. You get me? Onana's looked okay, apart from that clothesline that he done and knocks man out, but he's looked okay. I think we're just going to have to wait and see. But somebody mentioned in the comments about the Greenwood situation. Could that be playing on a couple of people's minds? I don't think so. But they look like they're going to be loaning him out now as well. So that would be gone. Garnacho as well, man. Like, I've been expecting to see some good things from him because I rate the kid highly, but it's disappointed.
Yeah, maybe too soon to start them games. You know what I mean? But I think with the Mount situation, yeah, like last season when I looked at Man United and I thought that midfield, did it really need Mount? Is what I was kind of looking at. Like when I looked at that midfield last season, did it need Mount? That's my kind of question. So then that comes on the manager because he's picked him in it. Yes, he's probably got the legs in terms of the energy to run around and off the ball movement than Ericsson. But reality is, when we do have the ball, what are you doing with it? And that's where I'm looking at it, the balance. Him and Bruno are just the same player, man. Bruno's probably the better player just because of based on output. He probably will get better output than Mason Mount. But if you look at the same prototype, it's the same player. They have high energy. They win the ball back high up the pitch. They're a final transition player. They play better further forward than they do sitting deeper. But then it leaves Casemiro exposed. And listen, Casemiro for everyone is going to be a scapegoat because it's like he probably looks like he's not the one doing anything. But reality, he's on his own and they've got a swarm of Tottenham fans just basically going past him. And you can't control it because the guys ahead of him are not doing their job. So it's not good, man. I'm looking at my midfield right now and I'm like Tottenham's midfield looks more balanced. Arsenal's midfield looks more balanced. Obviously, Chelsea, when they get it right, will look more balanced. Liverpool, I'm still not giving them.
No, Endo.
No. Listen, until you get serious midfielders, I ain't going to put your team in there. You know what I mean? So I look at it and I'm like, yo, man, like it needs to be better, man. But is Ten Hag a stubborn guy? Like, I don't know. Mons, what are you saying?
I'm not going to lie. As I said, everyone talks about Liverpool's 6 issues and how badly we need a 6 and all that stuff. But I think there's been a distraction as to how bad Man United's midfield actually is. Because in pre-season, things looked okay at the start. Obviously, you got your win over Arsenal and you look to be putting together a decent little squad and stuff like that. It's just to see someone like Casemiro be isolated the way he is, and the priority was to go and get a striker who, again, like what Premsy said, isn't even currently fit. It's just confusing, even just down to the order that you've done things in. Clearly, Mount is a similar player to Fernandes in terms of what they offer going forward. So they can either really complement each other or cancel each other out completely, and it becomes a catastrophe in the midfield. And the latter has actually happened in the first 2 Premier League games, and it's become as obvious as ever. What you guys need is balance. I've always said, if the second you get Amrabat, this conversation doesn't happen. Everything changes for Man United for me. Everything changes because it brings ultimately just stability to your midfield, and then Casemiro looks world-class again. However, the fact that hasn't happened yet, the fact that you're still waiting on whatever deals that I don't know, McTominay, Maguire's move broke down. I know you have to get rid of someone to bring someone in, but the point is, like, you still have to manage. You still have to get points on the board with what you've got. And credit to Ten Hag last season, with what he was given and what he got, he still managed to win a trophy and get you Champions League football. So it shows as a manager with limited resources. I know he spent 250, but with limited resources in terms of he still had a lot of deadwood in that United team, he still managed to do what he did. This season is more now the test because he's got his tools. Maybe not all of them, but no manager gets 100%. No manager gets the complete puzzle. There's always cracks in every team. And with Ten Hag now, he has his Mount, he has Martinez, he has Onana again, who's looked really good. But at the end of the day, I think his talent ID going forward has looked very underwhelming, extremely underwhelming. You look at someone like Antony, and we're still waiting for Blastoff. We're still waiting.
Wow.
Like he is horrible. Like he is horrible. And for the last 6 months, people have tried to mask it by saying he works hard. I'm sorry, but for 80 million, we don't want to hear he works hard. We want to hear goals and assists. Even if he's crap and he's getting goals and assists, we'll hear it because at the end of the day, output wins you games. So at least he's doing a part of his job. But he's not effective. He's not getting good output. And he's looking like a worse deal than Jadon Sancho. because he's more expensive than Sancho. And currently, his first season was almost just as bad, only probably a little bit better. We're talking, again, on this trajectory, it's looking worse than it could be as bad as Maguire. Do you know what I'm saying? So how about this? I think Sancho deserves a run out more than Antony at this point. I personally think you probably should even go Sancho, probably even try him in the false nine, like he did in pre-season, and get Rashford back.
He did it all pre-season, though. This is what the maddest thing is, yeah. Ten Hag tried Sancho throughout the whole pre-season, and it looked like we were getting somewhere with it. But all of a sudden, he abandons it. I always look at pre-season as a measurement for what you're trying to do in a season. Like, you're trying to experiment something in it. You're trying to do something that may work in the Premier League, but you just basically abandon it. Like, I would rather do that than put Rashford as a striker. Rashford as a striker is so painful to watch. Like, genuinely, I don't know. I can't quite compare it to, I don't know. People say Nunes is as bad as him up front, but at least Nunes might give you something, run off the channels. I don't know, something. He might give you something better up front. But you see Rashford up front, it's painful to watch. Like, Rashford's best position last year was playing on the left-hand side and running into the central areas, not starting off central and then trying to find gaps running behind.
He's never been that intelligent for me. I think there was a time about 3 years ago where there was a time 3 years ago where football was a little bit less tactical in terms of like the whole low block thing, where Rashford actually done okay up front. It was the season when you smashed Chelsea 4-1 or 4-0 opening day.
Yeah,
that time, that was when Rashford could do that kind of role. Sorry, Lewis. Hey, Lewis, that wasn't that. Come on, bro. Example.
No, I don't remember.
No, he just said he don't remember.
But yeah, no. But my point is, Said, is that it's not even just again through the transfers. It's tactically. Are we looking at? For me, it's still looking like spicy Ollie ball. I can't look at Ten Hag's tactics and go, okay, this is what you guys are doing. This is the play style, and it's not like bright as day. I can kind of see that with some of the, even listen, Pochettino, you can see, as much as I hate it, it's a bun Chelsea thing right now. You can see their style of play quite clearly. Even though again they played 4 at the back and looked really good in preseason, and then went to 5 at the back when the league started. Maybe because of the injuries, I'm guessing. But you can see their style of play. And with United, I'm just struggling to see what's going on. And the more this happens, the worse Casemiro is going to look. He looks twice his age. Casemiro looks twice his age, bro. From when he looks bad, it's bad, isn't it? That's a measurement. If Casemiro looks bad, a player that is so consistent.
But he was majority of last season, he was so consistent. But this season, it needed to be better. Last season, he was the reason why that midfield stayed together. But it's only so long you can apply a plaster. The reason why last season happened is because Casemiro's in that midfield and Marshall in it. And you can't apply a plaster to a wound. It's not going to work. It's only for so long that plaster's going to fall off. You know, this season you should have applied a greater barrier in that midfield area, so then it can allow Bruno Fernandes to excel what he excels at, which is a final transition player. I don't think he's unbelievable at that, but he does give you the odd GA, and he can be effective at that. So go and build something around him. And I'm just thinking, why didn't Ten Hag think of that rather than going and thinking about transition and off the ball movement? I'm like, bro, like you see the second half, it don't work, mate.
Do you think? Do you guys think that Martial, because now that he's fit, he did come off the bench? Do you think he goes in? He goes. Listen, I'm not saying bring him back into the team. I'm saying just to go and get Rashford back out on the left, because obviously Højlund's not fit to win past the Arsenal game.
Yeah, I reckon Arsenal game will probably come back.
Yeah, so again, right now it's the priority is to sort out something in the midfield in the 8. How about this? It's mad, but McTominay should probably be playing, or Eriksen should probably be playing to just bring balance. Forget the quality right now, because I think it's just trying to fit all the quality everywhere. Get midfield balance and put Rashford back out on the left and stick to what you guys know. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, because if Mount was beaten off and all of the pause and everyone's all doing well, Ten Hag would be getting all of the credit. Ten Hag would be getting so much credit. I think there needs to be more scrutiny on Ten Hag, in my opinion, on being stubborn, not changing it. The style of play still looking similar to last season, when this is the year where you need to see that transition in play style. It needs to be clear as day, and it's not. It's just blurry to me. So,
I think people are questioning him a bit more now of this, especially now he didn't even rotate anything. Because that says the team last week was fine, and it wasn't. That Wolves game stunk, let alone the Tottenham game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we're only on 309 likes, man. What's going on, people, man? That's shocking likes, man. Come on, let's get up to 500. Come on, people, man. Hit the like button. It costs you nothing and it helps the channel out massively. So hit the like button. Listen, we're going to see. The thing is with me, yeah, I think we'll probably get a result against Nottingham Forest, but then we'll probably lose to Arsenal. You know what I mean? And have a bad result against Arsenal. That's where I kind of look at it with me. It's like it's probably one step forward and then it's like 2 steps back. You see what I mean? So that's where that's why I feel uncomfortable. Is that yeah, fans will get excited for one game and be like, yeah, you know what, it worked against Forest. Yeah, go on, lad. And then all of a sudden, bang, it doesn't work against Arsenal, and Arsenal just end up destroying us away from home. So it's baffling, man. But I can't quite get my head around why we are so bad away from home against the top 9. I don't get it. I generally, because at home against the top 6, we've probably done. I think we won most of the games. I think we might have drawn, but we've won most of the games. So why away from home is it so bad? How can you be that bad away from home? That's what I don't get, man.
Oh, you said the top 9.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
was going to bring up the Stamford Bridge game, but forget.
Yeah.
We weren't at that level. I don't get it.
simple
I
as
don't
that.
get it with you guys away from home, but didn't really watch a lot of United last season to be able to judge the difference. I know you guys were getting results and you were playing much better football, though.
Yep.
That's something. That's a
100%.
duck you guys are going to have to break soon. Are you guys going to the Emirates or is it Old Trafford?
No, it's at the Emirates. That's what I'm saying. It's away from home, Emirates. We haven't won there since 2017. I think it was Jesse Lingard dancing on their stadium. Yeah, the Millie Rock. That was the last time Man United won at the Emirates. You know what I mean? The year after that, I think David De Gea kept us in it for 2-2. You know, so yeah, man, listen, it's not an easy ground to go to, man. You know what I mean? So is it going to be better football? Probably not, man. But we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. But Mason Mount, bro, man, I see Maddison balling out and I was like, that was a midfielder that United needed, not Mason Mount. But who am I? Who am I to kind of give my question? It's one of them. The manager wanted him. The manager wanted him.
I can only say thank
Yeah,
you.
of course you can. Yeah, I mean now you got that midfield in there. Bloody hell, mate, you're chilling, absolutely chilling. Months. Yeah, exactly. It's mad. Months, what are you saying though, man? Liverpool, chat to me. Scrape past Bournemouth, would you say, or would you say that was a decent performance?
Sorry,
we scraped past because of the red card. That's and that was it. But to be fair, I wouldn't even say we scraped past. We won 3-1 after the red card. We looked better. Obviously, a certain Endo came on. He performed better than Caicedo. You know, of course, as well. I throw that one in there. But yeah, no, he obviously came on. You know, the guy from Stuttgart who everyone looked at. Even I looked at. I was like, not a fan of that one. You're not gonna lie. I'm just happy that we've gone and got the 6 and he's ready to play straight away, because that first 15 minutes was some of the worst I've seen in a minute. You see that first 15 minutes, the way, was it Christie, right? Christie in their midfield, slicing up my midfield. This is why I weren't giving no one credit in the Chelsea game for cutting up Liverpool's midfield, because Bundesliga 2 sides were cutting up our midfield in pre-season. The same diagonal was working in pre-season from teams who we don't even know how to pronounce the name. Yeah. So when Chelsea were doing it to us, I'm like, yo, this isn't even a hate on Chelsea. This is like, whoa, like, it's not hard, isn't it? The bottom line is it's not hard to slice through Liverpool's midfield without this 6. Everyone now, I think it's more obvious than ever. Do you know what I'm saying? So to see Christie, Billing and them, man, slicing through early doors, easily could have been 2-0 down, probably onside, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, we caught life there. Like, it just shows how bad it is playing this pivot and this box midfield and tucking in and then leaving Kone and Van Dijk isolated all the time with an Asian Robertson. It's really not good enough, in it. So that first 15 minutes was very worrying, especially being at Anfield. Listen, and this is no shade on Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are actually quite underrated. And they're not going to be... where did they finish last season? I think they even had a decent end to the season. So Bournemouth aren't the worst side in the world, but that's a game that we should be steamrolling. We should be steamrolling Bournemouth at home in the Premier League. I think we beat them 9-0 last year at Anfield. So...
Yeah, he did. Fabinho scored loads of goals. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So this is why I had to look at this objectively and go, okay, like, we're going to outscore them. Even though we conceded first, I knew we was going to outscore them. We'll probably end this game 4-2 or something like that. But that's not good enough. I'd rather win 2-0 than win 4-2. Do you know what I'm saying? I like about the same thing with Man United. stability and balance is better than just throwing in whatever quality you have. So
That's true.
And that's why Endo is nowhere near any of the top DMs in the league. He's probably down there at the bottom if you look at his resume alone. However, when he came on, the first thing you saw was balance. Even with 10 men, the very first thing you saw was balance, and it became 10 times harder to break us down. Why? Not because of the personnel, because you brought in, not because of who, like in terms of the quality of the player, but the fact that someone has come in tailor-made for their job to break up play and to distribute, and we done it with a man down. So that now it's obvious. It's literally slapping you in the face that he has to start versus Newcastle, or we will lose 4-0. We will lose 4-0 at St. James's Park if he does not start. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure we will appeal. I think we've appealed for the red card already, and McAllister will probably be ready for the game. But even if the appeal fails, it might be a blessing in disguise, because that Endo needs to play. You need protection in front of the back four. The defenders have said it, and it's now for me. Trent's also a doubt as well. So I'm looking at this performance and I'm going, well, offensively, fine. Salah still a bit wasteful. Diaz now, the Colombian, the South American thug on that left wing, getting his flair back. He's one to look out for. I really think.
I've been telling everyone about Diaz, bro. Even on Premier League Unpacked, I was saying to him, said, give me a surprise player. I said, Luis Diaz, man. I think he was a big part of why Liverpool messed up last season as well and couldn't really do what they've done, because he was a big miss, especially after losing Manu as well. And that Endo as well, obviously, I don't really know him from Adam. I can't sit here and just lie and say I know what he's about and what qualities he can give. But I do a podcast every Wednesday called 30 Minutes Arsenal with a guy called Harry from Japan. And he rates him really highly as well, obviously saying that he's a Japanese international captain as well, that the guy is a top quality midfielder. So you want to give him a chance and see what he can do, because even though he's not that big, massive, glamorous signing, sometimes the guys that come under the radar, look at Brighton, people that come into Brighton, Caicedo, all these guys, they're not glamorous signings, but these are the guys that can get sold for 115 mil. So you don't know, man. It could be some good scouting business from Liverpool on that side.
Premsy, that was my point. Like when obviously I didn't want to people calling me shameless when I was like, you know what? Even though he's not the signing we want, it's not the worst signing in the world. Because if Brighton signed Endo as a replacement for Caicedo,
it's who you buy with it, though. It's who you buy with it.
No, I know. It's definitely. Listen, he needs to come with someone. But I'm saying that if Brighton signed Endo for the replacement for Caicedo, I reckon the whole, obviously because Brighton aren't as big a club as Liverpool, but people will be looking at, oh yeah, Brighton scouts. That's something we've never heard of. He might just be able to ball out. Yes, for Liverpool, we've been known.
That would look like an immediate replacement. If you lot went for Endo in June, I'd get that, but you went for him in August, which screamed panic buy.
No,
it would be different to Brighton.
No, I understand. For us, Endo is definitely 5th, 6th, 7th choice. He's in that realm in terms of who we want.
But if Brighton got him for Caicedo, he'd be their first choice, which is why it was different.
Size of the club definitely matters. Like size of the club and what the aspirations are. But like similar to what Premsy said, I'm still willing to let him at least kick a ball for Liverpool before I call him crap. If that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It can be underwhelming, but let him kick a ball first, get some minutes in, get some 90 minutes under his belt. The cameo that he had on the weekend, yes, it's against Bournemouth at home, but we did have 10 men, and he did make a massive difference. And for me, if he can do what he needs to do for a year or two, along with whoever comes in, and even if Endo is that Milner role, because he can play centre back and he can play right back, then it could be some shrewd business for a cheap price for someone who does have experience to know what he's doing. So again, I wouldn't say it's a scintillating performance from Liverpool, but again, Szoboszlai, I forgot to mention as well. Szoboszlai for me, cold.
Yeah, tidy.
Very
But you know what it is though? The next signing for me is obviously the Ryan Gravenberch one. Liverpool and Man United are after him.
Not a fan.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, we need him, but we need Soufiane Amrabat more. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of confused as to why we're buying him. If we buy him with Soufiane Amrabat, then I'm okay with it. If he's the only signing, then I'm like, nah, we need Soufiane Amrabat.
I'm surprised you man didn't just go in for Lavia. Like, it's not like it's a big thing.
Well, he didn't want to come because they left him, innit? They left him for Caicedo, and then he said, nah, I don't want to be second fiddle. You know what I mean? I wanted to be the main man. So that one, they messed up on that one badly. But with the Ryan Gravenberch situation, listen, Liverpool as well. They needed another DM. Like they need someone in there that can play. Like you've got Szoboszlai, you've got McAllister, you've got that prototype in Ryan Gravenberch.
Thiago's
Do you
back
need
next week
Ryan
as well.
Gravenberch?
That's for Thiago's back next week. Thiago's back in 2 weeks through injury as well. So I think in terms of eights, I actually think we've got a decent. Like if you look at the 4 eights you have in Curtis Jones, Thiago, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, and then you probably got past that, you've got your Harvey Elliott's and that, which for me I wouldn't play there anyway. But you've still got a decent 4 there. I think that's why Liverpool are looking at a Kone and they're looking at Decore, because they want someone to bring in with Endo. But obviously there were reports saying that Liverpool aren't going to be going for a recognised DM, and that Klopp wants him to be the first choice, which is, again, I have my own opinions on that. But I just think we're quite light. Of course, I know that Liverpool kind of doing the cheap thing now. Even though we've shown our hand with all the money, Liverpool are still kind of do the cheap thing. Look at the price of Endo, and I'm also hearing, Stefan Bajcetic is the future, and that he's going to be the one to play under Endo. For me, that's just light. If you're trying to aim to get back to winning the Premier League and being with Arsenal and City, that isn't the way to go for me. That's just not the way to go. I think you still need to go and get a Decore. Again, by the way, don't act like I rate Decore, by the way. Decore is not the guy, but he's a step in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you just need someone who's going to break up play, distribute, and maybe play it through the lines when he can, and just screen that back 4 and protect the fragile defense that we have. We just have to see, and as long as the midfield can get going and we can find that balance, and Szoboszlai can keep playing like he's been playing, because I think he's going to surprise a lot of people this season. Szoboszlai, I think he's really going to help.
You know what? I think Klopp's brought that Endo in for his work rate as well, because the one thing about these Asian players, and especially from Japan, the work rate's unbelievable, man. And you see that during the time in the Premier League, a lot of players that have come from Asia or have got an Asia background have done really well. Look at Park at United. He didn't come on a big glamorous thing, and he was so effective for them in the midfield. Kagawa, all of these kind of guys that come in. Look at Matoma over at Brighton. Trust me, man. There's some positives to be.
Taki done alright for us as well, actually. Minamino, he done alright.
Yeah, man. Look at Tomiyasu, man. He come in. He puts his foot in. He's tall. He's energetic. So that might be the new kind of market that people are picking players here and there from.
Did you look at Decore yesterday and thought, £70 million player?
Hell no.
Yeah. Listen, I think he's a good player, but he's £70 million.
He's playing, but context, as I said, I have to do the context thing here. When you're playing an Arsenal side as good as they are, it's difficult to look like a £70 million signing playing for Palace when you're playing against Arsenal. I think he's still a good player. It's just that for me, we won't see a £70 million version of Decore until we see him at a top 6 Premier League side. You know what I'm saying? It's like Declan Rice obviously looked amazing for West Ham, but he's going to look twice as better, I think, playing at Arsenal. Do you know what I'm saying? The 2 games, 2 man of the matches for me. Straight away, 2 games, straight away, So I think 70 million's a stretch, big stretch for me. He's probably worth no more than 35 to 40 million. However, it's with this market, you might as well just add on 20 mil. Whatever you think someone's worth, add on 20, 25 mil. And that's probably what you're going to have to pay for them, especially if they're under 23. Under the age of 23. I still think he turns like a 12-wheeler though. Decore, I don't know, Premsy, when you watched the game, did Decore particularly catch your eye? He didn't catch my eye really, but because you had so much.
To be fair, we dominated up until I think what was it, the 67th minute when Tomiyasu got sent off. Then 20 minutes they were on us, you get me, without creating anything clear cut, but they kept winning the ball back and they kept just putting the pressure on, and this is the difference. If we just touch on the Arsenal game as well, like I'll be honest, I've been quite disappointed in my honest opinion, because I said at the start it's going to be harder for Arsenal this season than it was last season, but I've been disappointed in, first of all, the selections that he's kind of made with starting Havertz in midfield. I thought he could be on the bench and come on, and as well Thomas Partey at right back, and Gabriel not even playing. You get
I don't understand that. It's weird. What's Gabriel like? He was apparently he's not going to Saudi, but he was out of the team. It's tactical reasons. Like the reason, what I think for me though is not enable you to play better football. This system, you're a bit more solid defensively, but you're not playing the more fluid football in that regards. I don't know, man. Like Martinelli's not playing the same way. You know what I mean?
It seems like a new system, and it seems like it's a new way of playing. Like we do normally tend to play a different style when we're attacking and we've got the ball, and then when we're on a defensive side and without the ball, we do tend to play different. But the way I'm seeing it right now is Declan Rice, he settled into the team very well. I think Havertz, he needs to do more than just be assertive and run and press and put his foot in. He needs to do more than that. When he's got the ball, I don't really see too much from him at all. You get me? And that doesn't equivalent what Thomas Partey can do in that midfield. You get me? Regardless if he's more attacking or defending, I think a midfield free of Partey, Rice and Odegaard is 10 times better than a Rice, Havertz and Odegaard. And that way, you know, if Rice did want to get forward and be a bit more progressive, he's got Thomas Partey there to clear it up. You get me? Ben White, right back, last season, done fantastically well. Why can't you start at right back? Gabriel and Saliba ever present last season. You get me? If you want to give that extra midfielder, then White can do that. For Leeds, many times he played as a centre defensive midfielder. So we know he's got the capability of going in the middle. Why not let him do that position? Tomiyasu now, red card. We don't have that kind of comfortability now for him to play on the left-hand side. Timber out injured for a long time. You get me? Zinchenko, we don't really know how fit he is. So Kieran Tierney can't even get on the fucking bench, bro. This is how mad it is. Get me? The one thing
That's
I can
mad,
only
that.
see, the one thing I can only see is Arteta saying that he doesn't want to be so predictable and no one's going to really know the Arsenal that they're going to be playing this season. That's the only thing I can think of, you get me? But other than that, we're not penetrating teams enough. We don't have that many clear-cut chances. Creativity is not really too great. Yeah, Saka scored a fantastic goal in the first game, but I think Saka and Martinelli are off it. They just have glimpses of brilliance. They're not having a full 90 minutes of real quality and top quality performances. The only thing I can take from that game is we got the 3 points and we've shown that we still do have that mentality and character to go down to 10 men and get over the line, because as we all know, going to Crystal Palace is no easy game, especially down to 10 men. So I could take that away from the game, but I need to see some improvements from Arsenal. Yeah, we got two victories, but it's only going to get harder and harder. We need to get that cohesion back in the squad, man, and get the balance right. It doesn't seem to be there at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think with Arsenal, I think they still lacking a clinical finisher. Eddie Nketiah, man, he's got to be scoring them chances. He had a decent game off the ball, but again, you got to be scoring them chances, because that could have been the reason why you didn't win the game. But I don't know, man. Arteta's trying to do something different. I don't know you, man. Lewis, what are you saying about Arsenal? Like, is it better that they play in this system? Because last year they fumbled, or do you prefer them playing the more fluid football? What are you saying?
Yeah, they should have stuck to what they did last season, because right now they don't look the same. They're still winning, like they're still grinding out results and everything, but do they look as dangerous and as worrying as they did last season? Nah. I don't feel the same level of intimidation when I watch them. I feel like you can catch them out at times, or they're not going to take their chances and they're going to leave themselves open to potentially you getting a goal on the other end. I don't think it's anything too alarming. It's not like United's situation or anything. Still expect them to be in the top four. As things stand, they're probably still going to be the team that's closest to City, but I think that gap's going to be a lot bigger by the end of the season. I don't think it's going to be a little 5-point gap. I could see double that.
Nah, you know what? Like, I don't know, man. So you know, with the Havertz situation, yeah. Listen, he won. I think it was 8 duels yesterday, Havertz. But like, is that what Arsenal bought him in for? Like a defensive attacking player? Like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, that man brought him for off the ball movement. Because at the end of the day, you buy that sort of player, you need more than that than just defensive output. Like, it's one of them for me, man.
2 things stood out to me. So when Arsenal went down to 10 men, I feel like they needed an outlet. And when it comes to outright raw pace and power, I think Martinelli is kind of like the fastest player they have on the break. So when Martinelli came off, Saka was obviously going to go into that wing-back position and kind of fill in. Now, when you look at what happened with West Ham and when they had to sit deep against Chelsea, what helped Chelsea massively was Antonio being kind of an outlet, whether it was his strength, because let's be honest, Antonio isn't the most technically gifted player in the world, far from it. And he was able to get out and buy Chelsea time and, sort of get on the turn and hold off defenders. I feel like with Havertz, that's what Arsenal kind of needed. Yeah, Arsenal hung on. For me, it was a little bit too close for comfort, but I think Havertz was kind of needed in that situation to get Arsenal at the pitch. Credit to Arteta, he brought on Jorginho, and that is what led to the kind of like that final little bit of 5 minutes of comfort that you guys got past the 92nd minute, I believe, when Jorginho came on and just popping the ball round and they couldn't get near you guys. But I think Havertz, for me, if anyone...
To be fair, it was more the fact, sorry to cut you, it was more the fact of the Kiviar coming on, Zinchenko coming on that kind of shored it up with Gabriel as well, because from before,
Jorginho.
even when we made it, Jorginho done all right. He was shouting, he was ordering players to go wherever, and that's what you need. You need a leader. But for the 20 minutes that we didn't make them substitutions, we're getting peppered. The only thing I can see positive out of it that we actually defended well, but it's with Havertz. Yeah, he did okay. You know what I'm like with Havertz, you get me? I'm not the biggest fan of Havertz, but I need more than just work rate from a player, you get me? Because at times you're playing with 10 men anyway. So
but that's what I meant in terms of, that's why I felt like he wasn't your outlet to kind of, you've received the ball, hold the ball up, get your boys up the pitch. And I said, listen, Antonio for me, he has no tech in it, like his technique. But Havertz is someone who is, as much as I wouldn't call him technical, but bro, he's not technical. Do you know what I mean? He can move the ball with his feet. And I just don't feel like he's utilizing. I don't feel like his strengths, or he is utilizing his own strengths too much. I feel like what he's doing in the Arsenal team could probably just still have been done by a Granit Xhaka. It probably could have been done by someone else that you could have maybe brought in. Like, I just feel like the job, Emil Smith-Rowe probably would have been a better fit in the midfield against the low block, in my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? These are the things where it's like, are you guys trying to shoehorn him in? Is this because of the Gabriel Jesus injury, or is this generally what Arteta has going forward? And if this is what Arteta has going forward, I would be just a little bit concerned. It is early on, but I'd be a little bit concerned as to his role and what he's actually.
You know what though? It's concerning because when you watch all the preseason games, Gabriel was starting every single one of them. You get me? But when it comes to the league, he's being dropped out. Trossard was getting deployed in that midfield role with Odegaard, and Trossard was our best performer in pre-season. You get me? But he hasn't really had too much of a sniff. He didn't get to come on yesterday, obviously, because we were down to 10 men, so probably that's the reason. But I would like to see Trossard get an opportunity in that position instead of Havertz, because one thing we know about Trossard, he puts his foot in, great close control, knows how to find a player, can shoot on both feet, gets himself in them attacking positions, and he tracks back as well. So why not give him that option? I don't want to see players just getting brought and getting put straight into the team without any merit. You get me? Declan Rice, I understand, because Xhaka's gone. He could have come in and filled that role. But Havertz is coming in and he's making man sit on the bench here and not really get opportunities when, I'll be honest, he's nothing fantastic for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it must be mad. Like Trossard must be thinking, hold on a minute, man's got better output. I can probably score more goals. But again, this defensive shape that you guys are probably playing is probably the reason why it's happening. And you know what? Let's see, man. It is early on. It is 2 games. Maybe against United will be the situation where people start to realize whether it's working or not. That United game will be a litmus test. I think, who you guys got next? Arsenal.
Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham. You absolutely smashed them, man.
I think against you is going to be totally different. I think against you is going to
be more
play
tactical.
a totally different system.
It's going to be more
and
tactical,
he's going to play different
maybe.
players.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. But guys, we're going to wrap it up here, man. It's been a good best of the rest show. Patrick couldn't make it. Is he going to Corfu, did he say? Corfu, is it? Or where did he say he was gone?
Morocco, was it?
I think it's Morocco. My bad. Morocco. Big up to Patrick if you're watching. Big up to you, my friend. Big 6 bands, Mons. Big up to you, my guy. Love for coming on, man.
Come on, man. Always a pleasure, bro. Always a pleasure.
Big up. Make sure you're following people. Big 6 bands. Links in the description. Guys, it's I think
there's about McAllister's not getting suspended.
Oh, is it?
They overturned McAllister's red card.
Has it just come through? Just now?
Yeah. Just now on the Liverpool website.
Oh, that's big news, that. McAllister rescinded. Which is fair, to be honest with you. Like, you know what? It wasn't a red card, man.
Hopefully they overturned Tommy Astus as well. Right?
Yeah.
That's only a 1 match.
Where did you see that, by the way?
No, they can't overturn
it. It was on the Liverpool Twitter. It was on Liverpool Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Liverpool.
Official page.
Yeah, that's fair. So he's available for Newcastle. That changes everything, really. Yeah, just to tell people, McAllister will not serve suspension for successful appeal against red card he received during Saturdays. You know what is though? The Premier League are under pressure, man. You know what I mean? Them man are doing some dodgy decisions, man.
Yeah, they're taking a piss, then, man. I'm telling you.
Common sense.
4 or 5 red cards already. 4 or 5 red cards already. Everyone's 2 games in. Mad thing.
Yeah, it's mad. Carefree Lewis, big up for coming on, my bro.
Big up, my guys. We'll be back probably tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully we get another here we go by then. Need some more transfer dopamine. It's been 2 days, way too long. But big up everybody.
Yeah.
Big up.
I hate you,
Yeah,
man.
big up
I
everyone.
hate you, man.
Yo, we haven't
Why?
had one since Hoyland, man. That was like the start of July, man. So I don't know
These
what.
Chelsea fans are born in these Chelsea fans are born in Harrods. Just born in Harrods.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
man.
need a new toy.
Prem-
It's been too long.
Yeah, and he still looks shit. You know what I mean? It's mad. But Premsy,
Hey,
what are you
hey,
saying?
that shouldn't be from you. That shouldn't be from you. I'll
Hey,
take it from
listen.
you.
All right, I'll
You
say
must-
you still look shit, fam.
Hey,
Fine,
There you go.
fine.
There you go. Premsy, what are you saying, man? Guys, make sure you like the video. Nearly 500 likes, man. We need 500 likes. But Premsy, big up to you.
No, big up, man. It's good to be back. Big up, Mons. Big up, Carefree Lewis. Big up, Saeed as well. Patrick as well. Have a good holiday. Big up the chat. Make sure you're smashing a like on this video as well and subscribe to the channel
Come
if you're new people. But we'll be back next week and hopefully 3 games, 3 victories. I'll be in a good mood.
Yeah, man. Big up to everybody who's here, man. Like I said, leave a like on the video out. We'll be back next Tuesday, man. Let's see what happens next Tuesday, people, man. There's big games on next weekend. I think Liverpool play Newcastle. Chelsea, not big game. Yeah, I mean, but we never know. The Premier League, you just never know, people. We're out. Okay.